Apple Watch Ultra 2, what are going to be the changes, when is it going to come out, and what will be the price tag? Well, we have some new rumors along with some other recent ones that we are going to cover, and I'll let you know what I am personally very interested in as far as upgrades that will make a lot of people want to buy one. The latest leak that we have here is from the Chinese website Weibo, stating that the new Apple Watch Ultra will be lighter than the current one. Now, a lot of people made a big fuss about the size and weight of the Apple Watch Ultra, and of course it is way heavier than the Series 8 Apple Watch and of course the SE. And maybe even because of that, Apple released only soft, lightweight nylon bands for it instead of a nice titanium band like the one that I have on that many of you guys comment and ask me what it is. Well, this thing is only about 35 bucks. I bought it on Amazon, I'll link it below, and I absolutely love it. And maybe the reason Apple did not release one of these like they have one for the Series 8 is just because it would add a lot more weight. Now, the user that released this is Setsuna Digital, and they are the ones that put out the info on the yellow iPhone 14, so they have been accurate in the past. Now, how would Apple make this watch lighter? Well, we have another rumor, this time by Ming-Chi Kuo, who is extremely accurate, saying that Apple is gonna start 3D printing parts for the Ultra. Now, being an extremely rugged watch, that had me kind of thinking very skeptical. 3D printing is not as strong as CNCing, but looking further, this is gonna be titanium 3D printing. And the components could include the digital crown, the side button, and the action button. These are currently all done using CNC machining. Takes a lot of time to do that, and those are really the only parts that move on here. So Kuo stated that the changes could improve the production time and reduce the costs, and maybe because of that, that can also lower the weight because they can make it a little bit more efficient. And in our previous video a while ago, Vadim showed off a new laser-based crown that could be used for much more accurate adjustment when you're spinning the dial, because right now if you spin it really fast, well, it can kind of lag behind. And if Apple does this, Kuo believes that's going to push the whole industry forward, just like when Apple adopted CNC parts. And I think that would be really cool. Now, personally, I don't really care about the weight that much. I absolutely love the Ultra. I care more so about the thickness, and that would be sweet to see it be slightly thinner. And that could happen in a couple ways. One of Apple's biggest focuses on the Ultra is the battery life, and they want to maintain that really killer battery life, but we're gonna have some other updates that will help. Now, Vadim also recently made an iPhone 15 video on brand new tech that Apple is implementing. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure to watch it after. They have this new winding technology for batteries instead of stacking that is much more efficient, and it allows you to either have much more battery capacity like we saw the rumors for the iPhone 15s, or if you want to hit a certain point, you can make the battery smaller and take up less room, and that could help out as well. And another thing that will drastically help is a brand new chip, and we should see the S9 chip in the Ultra 2 and the Apple Watch Series 9. Now, that seems like a given, but if you didn't yet know, the chip that is inside of this Apple Watch Ultra is actually 1,414 days old. That is because Apple kept renaming their Apple Watch chips while they're practically the same, going all the way back to the S6 chip, so the S7 and the S8, and here they are identical. And they are based on a 7nm design, which is not bad, but the new S9 chip is gonna be based on 5nm. This is gonna be based off of the A15 processor, so it's gonna have a much better design that not only will improve performance, but it also will affect battery life. Now, the Ultra right now is amazing. I never have any glitches, stutters, None of that whatsoever. So I don't care about the performance side, but the battery life will be great. And with that said, I can use this thing for 3 days without any issues, and it is wonderful. So if they get a lot of battery and chip improvements, they could make it a little thinner, because right now I don't like doing sleep tracking with it because it is so bulky and uncomfortable compared to the regular Apple Watches. Now with that, the other thing that we've talked about is a smaller Apple Watch Ultra. The current 49mm one is awesome, but for a lot of people, it is just way too big. Now, I actually ordered 2 of these when they came out, one for myself and one for my wife, and it just looked comical on her hand. So she did not keep it. She got a Series 8 instead. And even for me, it took a while to get used to it. Now, 9to5Mac actually ran a poll, and a huge 61.53% said that they really like the Ultra. It is just too big, and if they made a smaller version, they would buy it. Of course, it'd be smaller, a little bit thinner, but it would be able to maintain that great battery life because of the previous improvements that we talked about. Now, with that said, I actually want to buy my kid and maybe kids an Apple Watch Ultra if they make a smaller version, because currently they are using the SE with cellular, and we showed you guys a video about how to set it up, and it's great to be able to pay not a lot each month, be able to text them, know where they're at. It has been an amazing tool, but because they're running mostly on cellular, not linked to an iPhone, they die so quickly, and a smaller Ultra would be amazing for that. It's an expensive watch, yes, and we'll talk about price, but it would be awesome for a lot of people. I think Apple would be dumb if they do not make a smaller Ultra happen. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, the next thing they absolutely need to do is to sell a titanium band with the Apple Watch Ultra. It's a major oversight. I bought this one right here. It's a very cheap one, and Nomad made this excellent, perfectly matched band that Vadima's wearing right now. It's $300. It's very expensive, and it was sold out for like 7 or 8 months. And if they can get the weight down, or they just want to sell it, I think a lot of people would spring for that extra, because it takes it from just a sporty watch to something that looks a lot more premium. Now, we also had some leaks about them giving it a 10% larger display, rumored to launch next year. And that is crazy, because nobody would say that they need a bigger display. But I think if they make the bezel thinner, that was where that would come from. And along with that, we had a lot of info on Apple working on a micro LED display, but that was pushed to the second half of 2025. Now, that display would not only be larger, but it would actually get brighter and save battery at the same time. Now, if you're thinking about waiting for that, well, we also got an update where instead of 2024, now it's going to be pushed to 2025. And maybe even 2026, and that sounds like a more big redesign. So I would say if you've been wanting to pick up one of these, do not wait for a micro LED display, not mini LED. Now, as far as the release date, it's going to be coming out at the same time as the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro. That's when Apple always updates these, and I think that's going to be great, just a couple months away. So don't buy one right now, because we could have a few different changes. There's a potential that could have a change in price. I know some people don't think that Apple changes prices, but my stainless steel gold one that I bought for $850, a year or two later, they actually dropped the price down by $50. And then of course, if they do release a smaller model instead of this huge one, well, in that case, the smaller model is going to be $100 less expensive, and it would fit on a lot more people's wrists. Even if you're somebody like me, which usually would buy a larger standard design Apple Watch, well, the Ultra in the smaller version would still look absolutely perfect, and it would save you some money. You guys let me know if you're excited for the new Apple Watch Ultra 2, and if you would end up buying one. Click that circle above and check out the 2 great videos that I mentioned in this video. They're both awesome right over there, and I will see you in the next one.